Listen up, bitches. Today's topic is the most important topic that I can discuss on this channel when it comes to building your overall long-term wealth. We're going to talk about investing, but specifically women investing. Why? Because I recently read an article that discusses how most women tend to be better investors than men are. I will link to this article in the description box below. That way y'all can go read it and check it out for yourselves. But ladies, if you have not been investing, the best time is now. It has never been easier to start investing. There are any number of ways that you can do this without cost to you, besides what money you decide to use to invest. I use M1 Finance. There are no costs associated with it. It's super simple, easy to use, and it works well with my investing strategy, which is index fund investing primarily, but also a little bit of dividend investing here and there. On a more serious note, this topic, investing, is extremely important to me personally because I was raised to be independent. And y'all, to really be an independent woman, then I was raised that you should not have to financially rely on any other person out there besides yourself to take care of yourself financially. This is something that was ingrained in me coming from a single parent household, and I have taken it to heart. I think this whole journey of personal finance is a constantly evolving learning journey, and the more that you learn, the better you do. 2 years ago, I was $90,000 deep in consumer debt. I'm working my way through that, but I am also learning more every single day, every single week, that will help better my financial future as time goes on. And one of the most important things that I have learned is investing. And ladies, it does not have to be complicated. It is very simple to just invest in low-cost index funds. That's about as simple as you can make investing. And with M1 Finance, it's free. All you have to do is open the account and put money in it. If y'all need a referral link to M1 Finance, I do have one in the description box of all of my videos. If you use a referral link, any referral link, it doesn't have to be mine, but if you use one and open an account with M1, then they will give you $10 when you fund the account, and whoever's referral link you use, they also get $10 for the referral. Even if there was no referral program for M1 at all, I would still recommend them and link to them in all of my videos because the user interface is very nice. It was super easy to learn, and y'all, it just really doesn't get any easier than M1 Finance, I think. So let's get into this article. I will read the most important parts here. Again, I'll link to it below if you want to go check it out yourselves. But ladies, if you're looking to change your financial future, if you've got financial goals for 2020, the time is now to start investing. When it comes to investing, too many married couples bench their best players. Plenty of women tell me, my husband invests our money. A 2016 Wells Fargo survey says that when it comes to investing, women aren't as confident. That's a shame because women, it seems, are the marquee players. Over the past 15 years, I've delivered hundreds of investment talks. My message is simple. Invest in a portfolio of low-cost index funds. Ignore financial forecasts and get rich quicker schemes. Add money every month. Rebalance your portfolio every 12 months. And actually with M1 Finance, rebalancing is super simple. It automatically rebalances your portfolio when you add more money into your portfolio. So this rebalancing every 12 months, even that's taken care of with M1. Anyhow, continuing on. Years later, I often return to speak to the same people. They might have been building a portfolio of low-cost index funds, but temptation drew them afoul. Sometimes they speculated, pulling out of the market because they thought the stocks would crash. Other times they added individual stocks that went south in a hurry. Okay, I say, be really honest here. Whose idea was it to mess with this portfolio? The men usually admit that they're to blame, or the women call them out. Female investors are better at sticking to the rules. Overall, single women are better at sticking to investment rules. More men, in contrast, want to slam dunk or tweak their portfolios in the hope of something better. I believe that testosterone affects men's decisions, I say when giving investment talks. Men's overconfidence pushes them to gamble and break smart investing rules. At this point, some of the women jab their husbands in the ribs. The men often smile and nod. Between 2005 and 2010, Vanguard found that its female investors beat their male counterparts by about 5%. A significant amount there. 5% is nothing to scoff at. Women hold higher bond allocations, so that might be expected. After all, bonds beat stocks from 2005 to 2010. But women beat men when stocks soar too. University researchers Brad Barber and Terrence Odeen studied 35,000 household brokerage accounts between 1991 and 1997. Despite the soaring market where higher risks can mean higher rewards, women beat men by nearly 3% per year on a risk-adjusted basis. This means that when women and men took the same amount of risk, the women beat the men by 3% each year. Guys, 3% compounding each year is huge. Fidelity tracked performance for 8 million of its clients in 2016. The firm found that women beat men by 0.4%. If Fidelity had adjusted for risk, the women might have won by more. Wells Fargo compared investment performances between 2010 and 2015. They also found that women beat men. When they adjusted for risk, women pulled even further ahead. Men might fall behind because they trade more often and they're much more likely to break investment rules. The Wells Fargo study says men were 6 times more likely to jump from 100% stocks to 100% bonds. In other words, men try to time the market. If you've been in the financial community on YouTube, I'm sure you have heard multiple people say that time in the market is far better than trying to time the market. And women are better at just putting money in there and leaving shit alone. A 2005 Merrill Lynch investment survey also says men are more likely to mess things up. 32% of men allocate too much money to a single investment. Just 23% of women make the same mistake. Merrill Lynch also says that men are twice as likely to charge into an investment without doing research. Higher testosterone, lower returns. Researchers Yan Liu and Melvin Teo published fascinating findings for the University of Central Florida and Singapore Management University. They looked at 3,228 male hedge fund managers between January 1994 and December 2015. But saying that they looked at them is a serious understatement. The researchers measured the widths of their faces. Men with wider faces tend to have higher testosterone levels. The researchers found that the hedge fund managers with narrower faces beat their higher testosterone, wider-faced counterparts by 5.8% per year on a risk-adjusted basis. Interesting, right? I think so. The authors wrote, in the context of the ultra-competitive, male-dominated hedge fund industry, where masculine traits such as aggression, competitiveness, and drive are encouraged, expected, and even celebrated, our results on the underperformance of high testosterone fund managers are indeed surprising. Investors will do well to go against conventional wisdom and eschew masculine fund managers. This brings me back to married couples. More often, men take the investment reins, leaving women on the side, but instead, more women should chain their men to the bench. After all, when it comes to investing, women are the stronger sex. Male testosterone appears to be an anchor. All right, ladies, what's your excuse? It is time to start investing for your future now. This is something that should not be kicked down the road for later you. And I say this speaking from experience, guys. I remember when I was in my 20s thinking, well, I don't earn very much money. I really don't have a whole lot left over to invest, so I'll just put that off for future me to take care of, and I can make up the difference later. You really can't. And even if you can make up the difference later, the amount of money that it takes to make up the difference is astronomically more the longer that you put off investing. And that's because of how compound interest works. You don't necessarily need a lot of money to get started with investing or to get good growth and gains on your investments. And on a more serious note, y'all, I've never mentioned this before on my channel, And this article didn't discuss this at all, but there is a thing called financial abuse in relationships, and it happens that there are many women out there who feel like they can't leave a relationship because of their financial situation, or because the male counterpart in the relationship is controlling of their financial situation. And I've been there before, ladies. I have actually been divorced once, and I remember being in this other relationship and feeling a little bit trapped because I felt like I didn't make enough money on my own to support myself. So this is a serious matter, and thankfully in that relationship I did eventually leave anyway and found a way to support myself. But this is incredibly important, y'all. Ladies, if you've been afraid to start investing, don't be. It doesn't have to be complicated. Low-cost index funds, broad-based low-cost index funds through Vanguard are highly recommended. They are very cheap to own and invest in. You can choose to invest in them through M1 Finance. That's what I do. And even through my 403B account at work. Currently, I am 95% the S&P 500 through Vanguard, and the other 5% is the total US bond market through Vanguard. And that's about as simple as it gets. And even through my M1 account, I choose to invest more in the total stock market through Vanguard. And I do have some dividend stocks and things on the side, but that's a very small portion compared to my main investing strategy, which is index funds. And it doesn't get any easier than index funds, ladies. So if you have not yet, give some serious thought to beginning investing. Even if you're still in debt. If you have high interest debt, that's one thing, sure. You probably need to get that paid off before you start seriously investing. But if you're in a situation like me where the debts that you have left, the interest rate isn't astronomical, then it would behoove you to begin investing now. That way, your overall financial picture in the long term will be better for you than if you put off investing altogether. Just some food for thought in this video. Ladies, if you have been intimidated by investing previously, don't be. Doesn't have to be complicated. I hope you'll give this one some serious thought. If you are planning on hitting financial goals in 2020, let me know in the comment section down below if investing is one of those goals, or if it's not, let me know if maybe now you're considering investing as one of your 2020 financial goals. I'd love to hear from you. Guys, what did you think of this article down below? Is there any truth to this? I'll see y'all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.